I've always been fascinated by the macabre, drawn to the unknown and the eerie. So when I heard about the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town, my curiosity got the best of me. I gathered a few brave friends, and armed with flashlights, we ventured into the heart of darkness. The asylum was a decrepit, imposing structure, its walls covered in ivy and graffiti. As we entered, an oppressive chill gripped us, and the air was thick with a sense of foreboding. Our footsteps echoed through the desolate halls, and it felt as though the very walls were whispering ancient secrets. We reached the basement, the darkest and most ominous part of the asylum. The flickering light revealed rusty medical equipment and grimy operating tables. Our laughter turned to nervous chatter as we shared ghost stories, trying to shake off the unease that clung to us. But then we heard it, a faint, mournful cry that seemed to come from the depths of the earth. Panic surged through us as we searched for the source of the sound, our flashlights cutting through the suffocating darkness. In a small windowless room, we found her, a girl, barely more than a child, shackled to a rotting bed. Her eyes were vacant, her body emaciated. She mumbled incoherently, her words a jumble of terror and despair. Her frail form was barely visible in the dim light, and her tangled hair hung like a curtain obscuring her face. We approached cautiously, our hearts pounding in our chests, our breaths shallow and uneven. As we inched closer, the girl's mumblings grew more distinct, and her eyes slowly focused on us. It was as if she had been asleep for centuries, and we had disturbed her restless slumber. Her gaze was hollow, devoid of any recognition, and her lips parted to reveal rows of rotting teeth. The stench of decay and dampness clung to her like a sinister shroud. Her bony fingers twitched, and she reached out towards us, her movements jerky and unnatural. The room itself seemed to respond to her presence, the walls closing in on us, trapping us in a suffocating embrace. We couldn't leave her there. With trembling hands, we freed her from her restraints, the rusty chains clinking like a death knell. As we lifted her from the bed, she clung to us, her grip like a vice, her fingers digging into our arms. She was strangely cold, as if her body had absorbed the chill of the asylum. As we tried to carry her back to the safety of the hallway, her cries grew louder, and her voice took on an unearthly quality. The air around us seemed to thicken, and the temperature plummeted, our breath visible in the frigid air. The asylum itself seemed to conspire against us, its layout shifting and changing, doorways that had once led to freedom now opening into endless mazes of decay. The girl's cries became more powerful, her voice an unsettling melody that reverberated through the labyrinthine halls. We were separated, my friends disappearing one by one, their terrified screams fading into the abyss. The girl's grip on me never wavered, and I was left alone, trapped in a nightmare of my own making. The darkness swallowed me whole, and I felt the presence of something ancient and hungry, something that had been imprisoned in the asylum for centuries. It whispered promises of power and secrets that no mortal should know. As the girl's chant reached its climax, I surrendered to the darkness, embracing the malevolent force that had been awakened. The asylum became my eternal prison, and the girl's cries became my eternal torment. Now, I am the one who whispers from the shadows, luring unsuspecting souls into the asylum's embrace. My friends are trapped here, just as I am, and the darkness that once terrified me has become my only ally. And so, the abandoned asylum on the outskirts of town remains a place of unspeakable horror, a beacon of darkness that draws in those who dare to seek the unknown. The girl's cries still echo through its decaying halls, a warning to all who would venture into the heart of darkness.